Uncle Jake.
Beanshooter.
Good to see you, my man.
You too, man. Finally, nice to meet you, dude. You know?
Yeah, I feel like we've known each other for a fucking while.
Couple of years now.
Yeah, right? Good friends.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, this day and age, right? You're friends with someone you never, I'm good. How long have you known him? Well, I've never really met him.
Yeah, right.
But that's my fucking...
It's my dog.
It's new.
Hey,
it's
my
new.
boy.
You know, listen, but I mean, I think we can say, like, between the three of us that, you know, we've learned to differentiate who's who a lot of times, you know what I mean? And you could tell a guy right off the rip. I know what you were saying about him, that when you had a problem with your page, you said, I'll do anything for Jake because this guy came, like, it was like, hey, what can I do for you? Can I put your page back up? What can I do to help you? Because, you know, I think a lot of times that we think a lot of your problems being shadow banned and everything that goes on in Instagram is because of people that smile in your face and put the knife in you behind your back. But we know that, no, Jake's not one of those guys.
Smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place.
Beanshooter's in a crazy shadow war with it. You got the Cold War going on right now with the people at Instagram.
Yeah, right now it's really, really fucking really bad what they did to my page. And I don't know. So I'm trying to direct traffic to my other page right now. And like he was saying, you know, you reached out to me and C Money reached out to me.
Yeah.
You know, out of everyone and said, hey, you know, if you want me to, you know, shout out a new page and help you out. And I was like, man. And at the time I was, because I couldn't even get into my page for a month, I was just like, you know, it's after you build up a page, right? Because I've had other pages wiped out. When it happens, it's not like you're all gung-ho. I'm going to start this page and build it up.
No,
it's like...
It's gut wrench.
Yeah. It's a gut punch. You know what I mean? It's like a Mickey Wood shot to the liver. It takes a little bit to recover.
I took one of those back in the day. I did a little video of Mickey Wood.
yeah.
Well, he didn't hit me full force. But he kind of just snapped it. I was like, dude, if he was really digging into me, I would have fucking got fucked up.
Oh, yeah. But, so that sucked. You know what I mean? I appreciate you fucking... reaching out, you know?
Of course. You seem like one of the... You post more than anybody, I feel like. So you're, like, actually putting in work on the app, and people love you, dude. So, like, I feel like the genuine people on the Boston side is we all got to help each other because there's not a lot of genuine people, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like what Mike... I don't know if you've seen the reel he did the other night when I got towed.
I don't think I saw that.
So anyway, but that's one thing about him. Like he got me at like my worst state, but he always got the and everything is organic.
Yeah.
Like he don't say, "Oh, let's do that again." I've never heard him say that.
It's just all happening live.
So we're in Florida, sitting there one day, and we're in Florida. It was my first time in Florida, my first time traveling, and we're sitting at Sparrow's house, and this boat comes by, and it's a police boat, and I went,
the Intercoastal.
"Oh shit!" I said, what the fuck are they doing here? And he already had his phone out, bone the bone. He goes, they heard you was in town. I went, huh? Listen, completely. I was like, oh, shit, but perfect. You know what I'm saying? That's just, you know, and that's why I think, you know, he's, like you said, just everything. I mean, listen, you guys are the fucking heavy hitters, right? I mean, I haven't even reached 10 grand yet, right? I'm sitting with a guy that got 100 grand, a guy that got 300 grand. So this is like, you know, this is something like new to me, you know what I'm saying? And I love it. I think it's great. Like everybody says I'm on my phone more than Mike. I kind of take that as a compliment.
But you're doing cool. You're doing cooler shit than any other influencer. Right? You're in fucking Miami. You're doing like cool shit that not a lot of people are doing. You'll get that following in no time. It's just keep posting and hanging around the right people, 1,000%.
Yeah, I love it. It's exciting to me.
Well,
I love
the other night when his car got towed, we go walking back to his car, and he's like, "Oh, Mike, this ain't good. We're going down Hanover, right on Palmet the street. He can see it. It ain't there." He's like, "My car got towed." So we go walking over, and I get the phone up, right? I go, "You sure it got towed?" Like, I already know the
rhetorical question.
Hit him with the old rhetorical question.
I'm sure Michael was right here, so he got me.
Yeah, when somebody's, you know, bewildered and upset, that's when you know.
Get someone when they're all clustered.
Yeah.
He does his best work.
Yeah, that's when I do my best work, you know.
What about the guy today?
He goes, "Yeah, it was right here." And he looks and he sees me with the phone, like filming that. You can tell I got him. He was like...
I loved it. I thought it was great. I think it's one of those moments, right? I'm saying,
got to capture the chaos.
Isn't that what you want? You don't want somebody saying, "Oh no, it didn't come out good. Let's do that again."
Yeah,
I don't want that. I want somebody that just makes you laugh and, you know,
just raw,
organic,
talent.
man, organic.
No, my favorite video is the one where you had all the fucking cops and the TV, and you're like, "This is what I feel like every time I fucking take a hit of coke. Like this is what I think's going on." Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that video. I had another Instagram page wiped out, and that one, I was at like, man, I want to say 13,000 or 17,000 followers, I forget, and that video just tripped hit an algorithm or something, and I got like 1,000 followers a day for like 90 days. It was like, bang, I was at 17, then I was at like 110, like wham. And that's what happens when you're posting every day and you do something, and it just hits the explore page. And I don't know what it is, what triggers it, but I always fuck it up because I'm still posting every day, and then I'll post someone and I'll be saying something and someone will report it bullying and they'll take it down. And then when you appeal it, and Instagram just automatically denies it because it's all AI. It's not like one person going, oh, this ain't bad, right?
Yeah.
And you win the appeal. And then once they do it, they shadow ban you. And people always say, oh, shadow ban ain't a real thing.
It is.
This is what I call shadow ban. So, oh, that's restrictions. The thing is, the only people that can see your page are people that follow you. Nothing will go on the explore page. And if you tell somebody, hey, if you're shadow banned, hey, follow Jake Scali, they type in Jake.
They can't even find you.
Yeah,
I've had that happen.
Because 50 of their friends follow you, as soon as you type in JA, boom, Jake Scali pops up at the top, right?
Yeah.
But they could type in the whole thing, and until they get to the end, LL, nothing, I, boom, it'll pop up.
Yeah.
So they make it hard for you, like they did to, today's the inauguration, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they did it to Trump, all his supporters, everything. They just, whoop, turn the dial down. You're not going to see this guy.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear anything out of this guy for a while.
And then he wins, and now it's all over the fucking place.
Yeah, and it's fucked up. And he said he was going to do something with Instagram and try to change it. And it seems to me like the only thing they changed was the political climate. Like people can post all kinds of political shit, and they're not going to fucking take it down anymore. But hopefully they ease up on the restrictions and the shadow ban and that AI shit. It's bullshit.
I feel like it's all about image. They want to look like an app that promotes free speech, but I feel like anything owned by the U.S. government, like federal government, it's nothing's free speech, dude. They're gonna go on and delete whatever they want. They're gonna put certain things out that match their agenda.
Yeah.
I fully believe in that.
So,
shit.
Jake, you know what? So all my friends usually talk, right? Me and Mike talk. My friend Gio, a bunch of guys that I hang out with, but we all love your stuff, right? Listen, obviously you got a huge following. You know what I'm saying? But
And you've been really growing.
and listen, but you've been. I mean, how did that whole thing come about? I'm interested in that.
Like with Danny, like the
Danny
character.
and
Well, I was doing like TikTok and all that stuff before, but I would make videos with other people, and I wasn't really like growing. And last year, I made like one Danny video. It was on Christmas, and I did the Danny, you spent all our fucking Christmas money on Kalana pins again. And I was in the bling. I'm like, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was the first like Danny video that exploded, and then I posted another one that was like a Full House like type of deal where I had like the music going. I put laugh tracks in it, but people loved it. And then I went to Hawaii like a week and a half later, and while I was there, I was bored. My grandmother just passed away, so I was kind of going through some shit. And I was like, I want to make myself laugh a little. Imagine if people could see like this dude on a fucking tropical island that doesn't fit in here. Like it's just funny. So I started like filming little things on the beach, and they were fucking exploding like at the time. Not like crazy, but big enough that a lot of people were watching it. I was getting a lot of followers.
But I seen it. I never followed you, but I seen it on the feed all the time.
I like to think my videos, something people will be sending it to you. Oh, did you see this, right? Like, people will be sending it to me who, maybe lived in Mass and don't even live here no more. They're in Florida or whatever. And friend Ryan Cuniff, he's down in Florida now. He sent me a couple of your things once. So I'm like, oh, shit, he's getting around. And another thing with you that you must bump into all the time is when you're doing this, whether you're in Marshalls or something, or you're in fucking Hawaii or somewhere, and people are walking by and don't see the guy filming it 5 feet away on the sly, and they're like looking at you like they really think you.
Well, it's funny too because I feel like whenever they see the guy filming, they always just think like, oh, this asshole's filming this fucking guy at his lowest point.
Like I would be.
Yeah, they just.
Well, I mean.
No, that's me, but I'm in Lowell.
But you know what? Like me, I found. Like I had the video that went a little crazy too, where I chucked the iced coffee and the donuts.
I love that.
Yeah, but people don't.
Yeah,
people
remember you said another guy the other day, and it's like, come on.
Yeah,
man.
a friend of C Money's and stuff. We're out to eat, and I go, that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. He goes, yeah, I even said it. Why do you want to do a video with this guy? And I was like, oh, like around the table. I go, see, here you go, the prime example. I go. The kid ratted me out on a bank robbery. Some other guy torture. He's a sex offender. You know what I mean? So like people don't know. They just think I'm pulling up and
They don't know you're like Dexter. You're murdering fucking serial killers.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going out and getting the fucking little old lady like selling fucking roses on the corner.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah,
good point.
It's the fucking Dexter of Instagram. Right?
And you know what?
He'll come get you.
I always say like, you know what? It's like. Whatever a guy does, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying, we had talked about a few people, we won't name, but but whatever they do, they do. People, they got their own thing, right? You know what I'm saying? People might say, when you open yourself up on this platform, it's one thing I've realized is you give anybody the deference to say whatever they want about you.
You give them the ammunition.
You could just think, like, I remember me and Mike, Like and we were in Florida, right? And Mike had a bottle, and he was like, "Is this really glass?" Like we really didn't know. Like I mean, in Mike's defense, I mean he's an asshole anyway. We know that he's a fucking degenerate.
Oh, yeah,
but
people
he
like
had
that.
the glass bottle, and it smelled. I go, "Yep, it was glass." I mean, it wasn't like Mike said, "Hey, listen, drive down the street. I want to throw this bottle. I'll make it smash." Like it was just something that was spontaneous.
Yeah,
we
and then
really
I said-
didn't know.
Yeah.
And even like
Oh,
you, people might say like, "Oh, this is like, and you all you're doing is perpetuating people being on drugs. It's not the. I mean, it gives you whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody got something to say.
What I'm doing too is like I'm more putting because I was a drug addict. I have 7 years.
I think
clean.
we
tell
all
people
were.
that when people
Fentanyl.
say it to me,
That's
I go,
one thing- that's one thing we all have
he
in
was
common.
He was a dope fiend.
Yeah.
So
it's like I'm actually like that's how I was. Like I always felt like when I was on drugs, like the world would move around me, and I was just always like.
you were one of them motherfuckers that got that high.
Yeah, dude, I would because I was doing beans too. So
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just,
the Xannies,
that's
yeah,
what it is, dude.
yeah.
They make you hit the fucking crazy nod.
See him
and-
on the train after the methadone clinic.
Yeah, I started like when I started doing dope, I was chasing the dragon. I was smoking it off a fucking tinfoil. and
yeah.
I feel like that shit fucks you up even more than a needle because you're like climbing the stairs instead of the elevator, so more can build up in your system, which is fucking.
Climbing the stairs.
It's like climbing the stairs.
instead of the elevator.
That's the truth.
This guy
dude.
come down.
The
Listen,
stairs and the
we're hanging out with
elevator.
this guy. We want to
Yeah.
learn the analogies. I think he's
Yeah.
got the analogies down pat.
Yeah, he's got some good ones.
For a long time, like when I was trying to get clean, like I didn't, not that I didn't want to be around the recovery stuff, but I was just trying to get so far away from it mentally. Like I just didn't want to have like anybody around me that could be a bad influence because I'm like everybody else, dude. Once I go off the rails, like I go off the fucking rails, and like I just got kids and stuff now, so I try to like separate myself from the bullshit, But working in recovery is really cool. Like
It's awesome.
I've been helping
Yeah.
out a lot with like Rockland Recovery, and like I'm doing some stuff with those dudes.
Eddie McGrath,
He's the best. Shout
great
out
guy.
Eddie McGrath.
Shout out to Eddie
It's
McGrath.
My guy.
Listen,
Rockland
I've
Recovery.
heard that name a lot. I don't know.
Matty Powers, Power Recovery too. That I work for him in Revere. I'm a recovery coach, and that's the thing. We talked about like this platform and stuff, and and giving back too. I think a lot of it's about giving back. I know Mike does a lot of things. I mean, people want to see the negative that people do. You're giving back too because out of the lessons that you teach, right? So I went and spoke at. I spoke for Eddie too in Rockland Recovery, and I spoke for Matty at Power Recovery, and he, I did it just because I always tell Mike, that people have done so much for me, gave it to me so freely. I have so many friends that and Mike can attest to the greatest friends on the planet. Like, you know what I'm saying? They
Very
give back to me, so I
fortunate.
always feel like I need to give back as well. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And when I did do that, just out of like to be genuinely give back, right? I didn't get nothing for it. And then Maddie gave me a scholarship to become a recovery coach, and I'm doing that part-time, and I'm making some money. So it
Right on,
definitely
dude.
pays dividends,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like giving back. Like the other night, I was with C Money, and he's like, and D Buns, Derek Burns, he's like, a lot of people don't see, like, you help out a lot of people, and they don't see that on your Instagram, and they see the opposite, right?
You don't want them
And-
to see that. I'm the type
Exactly.
of person
Right.
like people
Right.
thinking
So-
I'm doing it for clout.
So
Right.
that's what I was going to say. That was almost the motivation, too, to throw the coffee and the donuts at the homeless guy.
Yeah.
Because I started seeing people, like, pulling up, oh, I got these brand new Nikes I didn't have. And the guy there, oh, thank you so much. And I'm like, who you doing it for? You doing it for the homeless guy or you? Like,
Yeah.
hey, look at me. I'm a great guy. I just gave a pair of Air Jordans to this homeless bozo in the corner. You know what I mean? So that was another thing. Like, I'm going to go the exact opposite of all these people that are, like, pulling up, like, look at me, I'm helping this, poor guy down on his luck. I'm just like, no, I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna make this guy's life worse.
I feel like that's like when you do something nice, it should just be like you did something nice.
Yeah.
Like that's the only other people don't have to fucking know it. It's
Yeah.
something that makes you feel good, whether it's like you're fucking trying to make up for whether you're trying to make up for something you did in the past or you're just trying to help someone out. Like you feel good about yourself helping people out. It should have nothing to do with the internet,
It's funny about things in the past that kid we were talking about. Someone we know got a bad thing happened to him a couple of weeks ago. He got shot and this and that. And he used to say to me, he goes, "You're just trying to break even, huh? Like all the bad shit you did. You know what I mean? You're always trying to break even.
Yeah.
You do this and you try to do something good. So
100%.
But I think in the aspect of, like you said, you're sober 7 years. You said
7 years. I just
Awesome.
hit 7 December 21st.
Great. Congratulations.
The last day I got high, December
Congratulations.
21st, 2017.
Awesome.
I'm March 17th, 2013.
you
So I'm
go,
coming
man.
up on 12 years.
Right on.
And getting sober was was great, obviously, but getting into the recovery field, it helps me, like the sober houses. I got a couple sober houses, and you with Rockland Recovery, and you doing the thing. Like when you're around people, especially people new, in recovery and this and that, it's good. And like I said, people, if I went around filming people nodded out, people will roast me. So at least it's you doing the thing, and it's a little skit. You know what I mean? But because I see people jammed all the time, and once in a while you see someone and they're like,
but
totally
it's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fascinating thing because the first thing I always say is, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me right there.
Yeah, for the grace of God, there you go.
100%, Mike, 100%. But the thing that I think, like you always say, like you do, Danny is always bent over. Like it's amazing to me because I've been in jail for so long. I was dope fiends were like, they can nod, come back, same sentence. They're amazing, right? Yeah. But the fentanyl seems to it's something that makes people bent over. The balancing act is
xylazine and the
insane.
stuff they put in it, man. I don't know.
I couldn't do that balance. I do yoga every day, and I couldn't do that balancing act.
You know what? Another thing it does, you see so many addicts now in wheelchairs. It like cripples them. I don't know what's in it.
Fucking their back, their legs, and stuff all get trashed after.
Yeah, no. Listen, thank God. I mean, listen, that's one thing we got in common here. We're in recovery, and that's the greatest gift of all.
Yeah.
Because nothing for my life. Before I do anything, and like sometimes I don't even think about it.
Johnny's better than us, though.
Why?
He actually kicks sugar.
You cook sugar.
You don't
need it? Nah, I don't. I eat some sugar, of course. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. I try to listen. I eat. The whole world's been taking me out to eat.
Yeah.
So I mean, the one thing I have to do is not have dessert.
It's the hottest thing to
good
come on.
shape,
It's the
though,
hottest
for a
thing
guy
in the world.
That's always going out to eat,
And 56, Jake.
There you go, dude.
50 fucking
crush
6.
it.
Johnny, it's the hottest thing in the world. It's the hottest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I don't drink soda for 2 months. I have one bang. I'm eating cheeseburgers, pizzas, guzzling. It's like an addiction.
Yeah,
sugar.
It is an addiction. Sugar is 100% an addiction.
Yeah.
No question.
But I was gonna say too about like the whole like fucking Danny and the fentanyl thing. Like I like to more like shine a light like on the issue that's going on because it's like you guys said, you see it everywhere and it treats people. Some people don't know what it is. A lot of people do know what it is. Like these politicians and all the people at the top like to sweep it under the rug because they just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to fucking put budgets into mental health systems and fucking recovery stuff. So I feel like a lot of these programs are like privately funded. They get grants and stuff like this, but it's more like I'm trying to shine a light on an issue that's going on that a lot of the people at the top don't want to, deal with and shit. So it's like they kind of can't turn away from it. Like their kids are watching it. Like their uncles, aunts are all watching it. It
affects everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
It's getting worse and worse,
No, 100%.
I mean, what do you think about the over-medicating people?
It's a problem, dude. I had a doctor, so after I got off dope, I had my first kid. I was getting panic attacks and shit like that, so I went to a doctor.
What were you just talking about?
I was in a MAP program before for Suboxone, so I was just going, I'd do the drug test, they'd give me my Suboxone. I went to a psychiatrist, I was having these crazy bad panic attacks. Like, I couldn't breathe, like, my head would start spinning. I was just really overwhelmed. Like, now that I look back at it, like, I think I was just really overwhelmed. But I didn't know what to do at the time because I'm just coming off all these substances. I'm still on Suboxone brain, which is like being in a fucking fog. I go to the psychiatrist. He goes, I'll handle all of your Suboxone thing for you. You just come here. You don't even have to take a drug test. I'll just give you the fucking Suboxone. And then this dude gave me 90 fucking Klonopins a month, dude. 90 of them.
Just for nothing.
Yeah, 92
just
milligram ones a month. There's like 3 a day, dude. I'm
chewing on the little mint candy Klonopin.
Yeah, I'm not even full. Obviously, I'm like taking them, like abusing them, dude. I'm a fucking drug addict, so I'm gonna like if you give me something and I have control of that, like I don't have fucking control sometimes, especially if I get all fucked up like that. So I would eat like all of the whole prescription, 90 of them in like fucking 3-4 days, just eating them like Skittles. And then I'd be sick for like I'd get like crazy headaches. I'd be fucking sick for like 2 weeks. I'd be buying fucking Xanax off the street.
Can't sleep, and then you don't eat.
Yeah.
You only eat when you're eating them.
You think crazy shit. One time, I thought I fucking figured out time travel. That was a fucked up one. I was coming up. I really did. I drew a machine. I had fucking yarn in the living room. Dude, I was poking holes in paper plates. I'm like, this is a warp generator. My mom's like, dude, you're fucking dumb.
So I no, it's a good point because Mike, we were just talking about that. So I think like a lot of it, the issues today, like drug abuse and stuff, but like mental health issues too, right?
Plays into it.
And I think that it's a lot more widespread than people. Now it's coming out, right? So, I mean, I just told Mike now that, obviously, I don't know if like everybody knows, but obviously I was in prison for 27 years. And for a lot of times I was looking at a wall this close to me, right?
Yeah.
So I told Mike there was a couple of times. One time where I looked out a window, I was in a cell in the hole, in the shoe, in special housing unit. I was locked up 23 hours a day. And I looked out and I forgot where I was like, and I was like, oh shit, and then like you said, like I got this buzzing in my head, like, and I started hyperventilating, and I was like, I just kind of brushed it to the side until like a psychologist diagnosed me. Said those are panic attacks. I said, but I'm not scared of anything.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm not an anxious guy. I don't have problems around people, but these things.
Well, your body senses it. Even because we're like strong-minded people, we think that like we're not
Yes.
feeling, but our body feels that shit, like the energy and everything. So our body's trying to tell us like, yo, you're stressed the fuck out. But our mind is like, just deal with it, because that's like what we're,
That's a good point.
That's how
That's a
I
real
am
good
anyway.
point.
Yeah, we were talking about the mental health aspect, and I'm like, I know it's easy for me to say, I don't have any mental health problems, but a lot of people would say to me, oh, how'd you deal with the depression? I mean, there's been times where I was, totally at my worst.
We're talking about physical reactions from your body.
Yeah, I know.
That's
but,
crazy.
But I never, like, he said that. He goes, have you had panic attacks? I go, no, I don't think so. I mean, not really. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I guess
But
I'm fortunate there.
depression plays a huge part in like why people do drugs. I remember the first time I did fucking dope, dude. I wasn't like, high on my, like, let's just try this. I was fucking down in the dumps. I was living with my boy because I got kicked out of my mom's house. I was all fucking doing the Xanax. I was just all over the place, dude. I started staying with this kid. His house was like fucking Horderville, dude. Like, he's probably watching this. You don't know who I'm talking about, but his house is a fucking shithole, dude. I'm talking rats running around everywhere, like fucking mail piles, and we're just fucking like, he's like, dude, you want to try some of this? I'm like, it smells like marshmallows. Like, like I grew up around dope. Like, we used to hang out in fucking trap houses and shit, but we would always like talk shit about like, oh, look at these fucking beans. Like, we're not like that. Like, me and all my friends, you know? But you never know. Like, one day, dude, you make one stupid decision, you're just hanging out with some fucking asshole. Before you know it, you are that guy that you were making fun of fucking 15 years ago,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck all that noise.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of us now doing the right thing. And when I first got sober in 2013, when I was in rehab down in Florida, I mean, there was a kid, Evan Yanovich from South Boston. He says, hey, because I was always fucking around videos. He goes, hey, man, you got Snapchat? I go, what the fuck Snapchat? He goes, oh, Mike Lee, you need Snapchat. And there was a kid from Staten Island I was real good friends with. One day he's like, oh, yo, Mike, don't fuck with that guy. He's a fucking Beanshooter. And I go, what? He said, what? He's a fucking Beanshooter. I go, fuck's a Beanshooter? He goes, you don't know what a Beanshooter is in Boston? I go, no, I don't. I feel like the kids in South Park when they didn't know what a queef was, so they went they went when they went with the New York City kids on the field trip, and they went and made up some word. So I started, the Snapchat, and just, every day I'm always driving around. I just started, fucking around. That's how it started, where I'm like, and then.
Well, what does Beanshooter mean? Tell them what Beanshooter meant.
It's like a bullshitter. Somebody who's always
Somebody
exaggerating and telling stories and shit like that. And it's funny, years later, an ex-girlfriend goes, but you're the opposite of that. You're the realest fucking person I know. You always tell it like it is. I go, yeah, but when I named myself Beanshooter on Snapchat, I didn't envision fucking...
anything.
You know what I mean? Like, it was ever going to be anything more than a fucking
Then you
little
open
joke.
a little window and let people, like, it's like opening a window, like, to your life, dude, where people get to, like, look in and see your life,
And that's another thing, right, where just last night it happened again. It happens a lot, and I'm sure it happens a lot to you. When it happens to you, you visited the girl the other day who was battling cancer in the hospital, where someone will say, last night it was like a young kid, it was like a high school kid. He goes, Beanshooter, your videos make me laugh right now. I'm going through some depression and this and that, and I want to thank you. And I'm always like, I always make sure, because a lot of times you don't see your messages. They go into the hidden thing. Like, people will message me all the time. They must think I'm a dick, right? But after I lost my page for 30 days, now that one, there's so many messages.
Yeah.
It's like I'll never, because I tried to stay on top of it just to, a lot of them are bullshit. Once in a while, it's once in a while, it's like, I hope you die, you motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's always one of them, but a lot of them you don't know how much you helped me and this and that. And I'm like, oh, that makes you feel great, right?
It means the world. I love when people
like, oh, I'm making someone laugh. Someone's going through some shit. One time, a guy messaged me. He said, I was on terminal cancer ward, and there's a lady next to me who was worse than me, and he said every night, she just passed. Every night we'd watch, your Snap stories, your Instagram, and we'd laugh. I was like, oh, even now, like, I almost tear up.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So it's like, when I do go to lose my page and this and that, and they shadow ban me, it's like, you motherfuckers, like, over some nonsense, really over nothing. Like, I showed you one video, I don't want to get into it, where it was someone else's video that as soon as I put it on my story, it was reported, it was taken down, and it was still up for like a day and a half on the main page with like 200,000 likes. And I'm like, it wasn't even my video. Why did I even share it on my story? Because I thought it was funny. And boom, there's another strike. And it's like, it gets to the point now.
They add
like,
up to those little strikes.
Yeah, like I lost a page before. And now here's where I'm at. Like, that's why I'm trying to build, this other page.
Yeah.
But it's like, it sucks because when you get those messages, it's like, Well, I'm helping like you. I'm sure you get a ton of them.
All the time.
People
dude.
mess you. Then they ask you, especially if they know you're an ex-drug addict, if they know you're in prison, or how do you turn it around?
Right.
And I, like
100%.
I said, I'm always quick. The last night I was out plowing. I was they called us out last night. We had a bad snowstorm last night. And I went out at 8 at night. And we had this scheduled. And I fucking was out till fucking 9 this morning plowing. And he's like, I'll pick you up at 11. I'm like,
Yeah, he goes, nice try, Beach. He just said that. He goes, nice try.
You know me. I'm like, if I'm not a half hour early, I'm late.
Time on target, baby.
Yeah, so I mean, but
No, I said. Then the funniest thing was, I was gonna cancel this. I said, "You made me not cancel." And he goes, he sent me a voicemail. You made me like.
yeah. I didn't know I could make you do things, Johnny.
Oh my God. Hey, it was like 7 o'clock this morning. I was like half asleep. I was like, holy shit. It's
fuck
like
are
The
these
group
guys
text.
doing? What are they doing? I'm with the
They love the group
crowd.
text, right? Bing, 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 bing. Like, oh man, why? Jake's like, why did I get involved?
I know,
with
why
this
did I get
guy?
involved with these
Why did I
fucking
get
guys?
involved?
They're up
When I'm
way too
home, I
early.
try to like minimize my screen time because I feel like when I'm out all the time, I'm constantly on my phone. So I try
That's
to like.
life though today.
Yeah, it
that
is,
is
dude.
life today.
John,
Everybody-
John, whoa. Jake, time out.
What's up?
You want to talk about screen time?
You just constantly.
We got nothing on this guy. This guy,
Everybody
I can't.
said
Listen,
that to me.
we can't even. Ask Gio, right? You know Gio? Gio's the
Gio's
best.
Gio's my
the
best
best,
friend.
right? He knows about John. We'll be with Johnny. His head's just down, staring at the phone. You could be saying, "Hey, Johnny,
Jake.
listen, Johnny."
In
Johnny,
my
I'm-
defense, Jake.
He don't hear a word you're saying. At least me, I like.
No, you're the same
Yeah,
fucking
shut the
way.
fuck
Get
up.
the
Shut
fuck
the
out
fuck
of
up.
here.
King says that.
I went. Yeah, I said I'm gonna get the plate, Mike. It's 27 straight. He went, yeah, What's that? Oh yeah, I know what that means.
What's the significance of that?
And he went, oh, well, you're kidding. Yeah, I know, because your nose was fucking coming out with, it was all the way in your screen coming out where the apple was on the
Well,
other fucking side of your
pushing the
phone.
buttons and
You
shit.
know what I mean? But listen, I can say my defense, Jake, I didn't have a phone for 27 years. I'm
Yeah,
making up
that's-
for lost time.
It's understandable. There's a lot to catch up
Case
on,
closed. Next subject.
dude. Did you like? So I know like you could obviously like hear a lot of news and stuff in prison, but when you came out after, like, did you hear something that like you didn't know happened while you were in prison? You're like, what the fuck? Like,
So you know what?
like
Everybody,
stepping into the future type of deal.
like everybody asked me that, so, like, and it's a good question too, right? But I mean, Mike knows too that. Like, you're not under a rock in jail. You
Yeah,
got
you get
TVs.
your news, you hear stuff
You know,
people are
you're
saying.
talking to people on the phone. You drop down in security. You're at a minimum security camp.
Probably
I
new
mean,
people coming in and telling you
coming
what's going
in,
on.
coming out. You're watching TV every day. The
Yeah.
first thing you do is when you get up, you have your coffee and you watch the news, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Instead of you going in your couch and there's 40 people in a TV room watching 5 different TVs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're not under a rock, and you kind of know what's going on, and you see technology changing. When you're watching programs on TV, you see the technology changing. You know,
Yeah.
so
Now, Johnny, most people, me included, and the longest stretch I did was like 3.5, almost 4. And I come out and I went to the mall and I had a panic attack then. I'm like,
It's too much.
People coming at me. I was like freaked out. It seems like you had a pretty seamless
I loved it.
transition.
It's
It's very strange to me, especially after 27 years,
Yeah.
a lot of seg time and this and that, to get out and not be overwhelmed and freaked out. You're a different
Probably
animal.
overstimulating too. Like how you
Yeah,
were saying,
it's-
when it's just
it's-
that many people, you're like, what
Listen,
the
it
fuck,
wasn't
you know?
that way to me. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, I just loved being around people. I loved it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing. I was like, oh, and everybody, so I had a furlough, right, after 21 and a half years in jail. And I remember everybody saying, man, you're going to be so I got taxi money in my hand. I left a prison to go to another prison with taxi money.
That's
In
awesome.
after 21 and a half years, people
Must
are
be
like,
so weird.
bro, you're going to be so shocked. Things have moved so fast.
And it was nothing.
And listen,
Just
when I got
normal.
outside, Jake, the funniest thing in the whole world is, and I told you this before, when I got outside and I was outside the prison, it was like I never, ever left the street.
That's good.
It was like
Like for
when I
your
got
brain
into the
and
taxi, I was like, yo, my man, what's up? I give him like a $30 tip. I was like, yo, it's the best. I give a girl a
Right.
$20 tip at the Dunkin' Donuts. It's the best day of my life. She was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What's up? I'm talking to people like, yeah, nothing. You know when I got shell shocked?
When?
That next day when I went back to prison, I was like,
Yeah, like, fuck this. Yeah, 'cause it gives you a little taste, and then you're right back to this.
So
Like, fuck.
anyway, no, this I always like to say seamless integration, but I always say that a girl is doing her thesis on me. She works. She's an intern at
Really cool. Her and her
Dateline.
mother, we met her the other day
Yeah,
at
she's
Strager.
an intern at
Shout
Dateline.
out
She
Nikki
goes to New
Verano.
York University for journalism and media, and she's a fantastic kid. And I always tell her, when she was doing my story, I told her that I'm the worst case study because I've had, I went to live with a judge in Linfield when I got out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've got the best friends on planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I paid for a dinner since I've been out of prison. I'm saying everybody has invited me and welcomed me.
You got the bill with me once.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing you said that. I want everybody to remember that. I got the bill one time.
I got to give you credit where credit is due. You've reached in your pocket a couple times.
So, I mean.
But you are a lot, I mean.
Mike, Mike's friend Spiro's a real estate developer, and he was like, they had a birthday party for me. Like, Frankie DiPasquale and Nick Verano had a birthday party for me at, Brico upstairs, or Umbria upstairs, one of those two places, one of Frankie's places. And my friend, the judge, was there, like real estate, like almost billionaire real estate developers. Like, and he's like, people. I can't believe that you like know all these people. How do you know all these people?
All walks of life.
Sean O'Brien, the head of the Teamsters in the whole country was there. And they're like, and I'm just fortunate. You know what I'm saying? I like to think it's a testament to who I am, really.
100%.
But I'm fortunate because I know a lot of good people that didn't have anybody.
Yeah.
Facts.
But I just think, there's a few things about you when I talk about you. I mean, there's a lot of things. You're a great guy. But just being able to get out, number one, and just, like I said, seamless, like me, you kind of freaked out for like a month, and you had none of that. But the biggest thing with him, Jake, I think personally, is how do you get out after 27 years and not crack a beer or smoke a joint? I mean,
that's fucking...
99.9% of guys are going to get out and, whatever, go to a strip club, whatever, have a couple beers at the cookout. You haven't tasted a beer in fucking 27 years, right?
Yeah.
Chances are, right, I was going to, maybe not me. Maybe I'd realize that, I had a problem. So, but 99.9% of people are going to have at least a few beers or smoke a joint.
They owe me. This is the society owes me. I owe this to myself.
Yeah, I know. Celebrate. Sending pictures of, with the girls and the fucking holding up the fucking champagne to my boys back in there. And that's a big thing.
I knew one dude who did a 25-year stretch from Charlestown. He was a wicked good guy. I'll tell you about him after. You probably know him. But he would just drink all the time. I thought Babby was more of a tortured soul. So like
Jacka?
that. Yeah, it's exactly who it was.
Jackie, the old man, right?
Yeah, that was my guy.
All right. Yeah.
So fucking poor. Yeah, he sucks for him, dude. I feel bad. He was a wicked good guy, but he would just always fucking with the $2 bottle of Ruble, dude. Like.
What's funny is I was at a party. The John Gotti of Auto Body, our friend, owns Accurate Collision in Everett.
Adam.
And he had a party, and Robert Sheketoff was there, an attorney. Another guy, was it Miliotis?
Miliotis.
So he says his name, Sheketoff, and I'm like, oh, this is a mob lawyer or something. Because I was like, he was at the table with Jermaine Wiggins, and they were like these little round tables. And I went up and got some food, and there's like 5 people with drinks. So I see these 2 guys, older guys, So I go over, I go, well, looks like I'm hanging out with you while I eat my meal. I just start shooting the shit. Oh, what's your name? And he says, Robert Sheketoff. I go, you're a criminal defense attorney. And he goes, yeah. And I go, who'd you represent? He goes, well, a ton of people. You know what I mean? A lot of mob guys. Now, he didn't say that. He just said a lot of people. He goes, I actually, Eric and, a few
Chris
people.
Ranieri, them guys.
Yeah, he said, just a couple of guys. He wasn't bragging.
Right.
He just said, there's a lot of people. And this
laundry list, in other words.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, I'm eating, and then I says, are you involved in the Stephen Doherty case, which was Jackie Campbell's co-defendant in execution in Walpole, the prison murder, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, wow, that's impressive. That you know that.
That's
right?
awesome.
Yeah.
So that case, as you know, was a prison murder in Walpole. And I remember I was down in the law library, and Stevie was in my block. And Jackie, I just left Jackie in Concord, and Stevie was in my block, and I come across the case in the legal decision. And it was a prison murder, and I remember reading it. And at the end of the case, it'll say, the medical examiner's report. It said just like this verbatim. The medical examiner's report said the victim's penis was ripped from his body while he was still alive, and it was shoved in his throat, and he was then subsequently strangled with a bathrobe cord. It didn't say belt; it said bathrobe cord.
Had the desired effect.
Yeah, had the desired effect. So I go back to the block, and I go up to Stevie. I go, Stevie, I was looking actually. I was talking earlier about something. This kid, he had an extreme atrocity murder case, so that's why we were looking up appeal decisions.
Yeah.
And I said, Stevie, I come across you and Jackie's case. I was looking up extreme atrocity cases, and he goes, yeah, mine would fall under that category. And I go, Stevie, not for nothing. I said, that guy must have been hung like a horse, no? He goes, what? I go, listen, if I'm fighting my life in a cell, you're not going to be able to just grab my hog and rip it off.
Yeah.
I go, you're going to fucking,
Get a
you're going
fucking-
to
get over
fucking
the range
needle
and
nose pliers. And
You had some slack.
He goes, you're a sick kid. I go, I'm sick. Jesus Christ. But yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, Jackie and
Yeah, you're right.
Stevie. But
I spent a lot of time with Jackie. Like, we were cool as shit because I just always, like, he would let us smoke in his mother's house and stuff. Like, we'd go to
Yeah.
the store for him and, like, get him, like, fucking groceries. He'd have the dude at the liquor store giving us
how about
liquor to
Danny,
fucking-
right? What a wacko.
Yeah, Danny was fucked up, dude. I remember one time we were sitting in a project apartment, dude. This guy Russell's house that we used to go to, and fucking bang on the door. They open the door, and Danny's he fucking stabbed me, fucking bleeding everywhere, dude. Everyone's like,
What
whoa,
do you do? Try to hit on the guy or
motherfucker
something?
got AIDS, dude. So no,
Yeah.
like we're like, what the fuck's going on? He's squirting blood everywhere. Fucking Jackie comes running, motherfucker. We're like, oh shit. So this dude's like trying to hide, but everybody gets out of the apartment. He's squirting blood everywhere. Fucking ambulance ended up coming and getting Danny. I don't know what. I think Jackie just fucking disappeared into the night, dude. But he was
Yeah.
he was a character.
We just found that out about you, Jake. You're a Charlestown kid.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And you know, you think, well, you know, it's different now, right? It's different
Way
now,
different.
but wasn't a lot of Italian in Charlestown.
No, my family was one of like I think 3 or 4 Italian families, maybe small Italian.
Me
Yeah.
and you against the Mick over here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd
dude.
think East Boston, you know, Scali, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if anyone knows Boston neighborhoods, like Charlestown was
one of them.
predominantly Irish, South
Irish.
Boston predominantly
South
Irish,
Boston.
you know, East Boston, Revere, Italian, North
Right.
End, Italian, so.
Right.
Like when I grew up in, I feel like Charlestown, like when I was like a teenager and stuff, it was very like at least for the kids, like the youth, that was segregated, not in like a. There was like the different like fucking projects. They had like beef with each other. So like the Newtown kids had beef with like
Yep.
the kids in the fucking project. People were-
Mishawon.
Yeah, people were getting shot. The Mishawon kids didn't want to go down that side because there was just like crazy fucking shootings at the time and stuff. Just fucking crazy. But there is like a huge like Spanish black culture that's like
Yeah.
in Charlestown, like a very big
No,
community.
now it's
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah, like it's
completely
crazy.
different.
I got
After that Houlihan trial, that whole thing went.
But when
Yeah.
I was like a kid, it
Code
was
of
just all
silence.
local. Like it was just all like local people. Like it's just changed a lot. It's crazy.
I mean, there's something to be said for it. You know what I'm saying? I always talk about, you know, when I was 13 years old, I was standing on a street corner in East Boston, and I said to myself, wow, I'm Johnny Bott. This is my neighborhood.
Yeah.
This is how it always was and how it's always going to be. When I always say that's the biggest mistake I made and people make is you became conscious of who you were in 1 second in time. Everything changes from that moment, and then after that moment, it
Now,
changes.
mostly Spanish, El Salvadorian.
Everything, yeah,
it teaches you
changes
too that like
all the
nothing
time.
nothing lasts forever. Like
Nothing.
my dad would always say it. He'd be like, look at this shit. He would say when I was a kid, he'd be like, this shit's changed so much. Like you're gonna see one day you'll drive down the street, this will be a fucking yoga studio, this will
Right.
be this. And motherfucker was right.
100%.
He'd aggravate the shit
100%.
out of me. Motherfucker was always right about everything.
Yeah. Remember Papagino's down there? In the
Yeah,
mall?
it's fucking gone. I love
Papagino's.
Papagino's, dude. That was my shit. Some cheesy garlic bread.
Yeah,
They had Speedy Wong's on Main Street.
I
Check
grew
that
up on
out.
Papa
Gravy
Gino's,
fries,
yeah,
Speedy
Yeah, dude,
Wong's.
those fucking the gravy and rice special, $2.
Nice.
Love it.
Salad with the
Shit.
bacon bits right in the salad
Yeah.
bar. Kid couldn't beat it.
Yeah, I remember being there, Papagino's in the bathroom there, you know.
They had a
doing the wrong
Blockbuster
thing.
down there that used to have a Burger King. It all fucking came out. They had Johnny's Food Master that came out.
Didn't Jackie Campbell get arrested robbing the store down there? I
Yeah,
think,
he
CBS?
would always send me down like to get him shit, dude, because he wasn't allowed to. That's why I was.
Jack is dead too. Jack and Jack.
Yeah, his son died. I knew his son like just very briefly. He was always like in and out of prison
Yeah,
and
I know.
stuff. So
Well, it was tough growing up. Your father's in jail the rest of your life. You're living in his shadow. It
I
felt
couldn't
like,
imagine, dude. It's a,
yeah, I felt like he was always trying to like, you know, his father had a big reputation and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I like
he was-
Jacka. Jacka was good to me, you know, when I went up to Walpole and stuff back then. You know,
Older Jackie was like the fucking Terminator, dude. Like even my grandmother would be careful around that guy. Like he'll snap or something, like you know. But he was never like that. He was always really good to me.
when I first met him, I told the story before, but I was in Concord and I come in the block, and I had an open bed in my cell. And I just see this like old guy, like white hair and a beard. And I mentioned his name before. He's got to still be around. He was a Revere guy actually, and he had like bobos on. And I just see like this white guy with like a white beard
Fit the pedophile profile.
and
Skinner,
bobos on.
Skinner.
And-
Skinner.
yeah, and bobos on like he had just
Uniquely
come in,
Boston
right?
term.
And he comes in. Yeah, they don't call them Skinners up in the feds.
Nowhere
huh?
else is the only. If you call somebody a Skinner in Boston, you know what it is. You call them a Skinner in the feds, they're like,
What the fuck
What?
is that?
Like a Skinner.
Thinking
Like
he's a
dudes
racist.
from Boston
Yeah.
know what a Skinner is in the feds, but anybody else, they call them like rippers.
Chomos.
No, they don't even call them rippers. That's a
Chomos.
Boston thing too. Chomos.
Yeah.
Ripper's a Boston thing too.
I feel like anybody else would hear Skinner and probably think of like a fucking skinhead, or they wouldn't even know. You know?
Listen, Jake, you
Skinhead,
hit it on the
yeah,
head.
that makes
That's
sense.
what they thought.
Yeah.
The dude's a skinhead.
Skinner. What the fuck?
So I see this guy in, and I'm immediately like everyone's laughing, like, oh, you know, you got a Skinner.
Yeah, that's everybody wants to start.
He comes in the cell,
rounding.
and come to find out, he had gotten lugged from Bay State with Jackie Campbell and a guy, Paul Sipley. He was a barber. I heard his name recently. Like, he got out. He had to be in 35, 40 years because these guys were lifers back then.
He mentioned all the right names
and,
to you.
So I go in his cell, and, he's up on the top bunk, and, I'm probably 25, right? This guy's probably 50 at the time. I don't know how old he was. You know, when you're a kid, they seem like they're 90.
100%.
Now I'm 55.
Especially
I'm like,
100%.
what the fuck? I looked at a guy who was 55. It was
Forget
like he was
it.
90.
Right.
Like,
In the
fucking-
end, dude,
dead
too,
next
I feel
week.
like,
you
I'll never
age
be that
even
guy in
more
jail when I'm
rapidly.
older. And
This guy fucking
and,
20.
Yeah, I know.
Ought to
I'm
be 30.
15 maybe.
I'm sitting there and I go, so what are you in for? I start, drilling him. I'm ready to hit him with the paperwork. And he's like, oh, I robbed an armored car. I got in a shootout on Route 1. I go, hey, you want the bottom bunk? Yeah. He goes, yeah, I'd really appreciate that, man. I said, help yourself. He's like, yeah,
100%.
I got lugged with Jackie Campbell and Paul Sipley from Bay State. We're all like, their life is. Boom, here you go,
There you go.
right?
Mentioned all the right names, said all the right things,
So,
and
like-
you knew he was
So like,
honest and
yeah,
genuine.
like 2 days later, he comes back, or the next day, he's like, it's so funny. He goes, because we'd make these thing called Bam Bam sandwiches, which was ramen noodles with tuna and mayo and pepperonis and pickles. It's so good. Now
everything. Everything in the commissary. Put it between
like a
bread.
You hear it, yeah. You put it between bread. Bam Bam sandwiches, right? They're delicious, but it sounds terrible now, right? But I could eat one right now, like no problem.
You'd eat the ass out of a skunk, you maniac.
Yeah, I would. So he goes, I'm out in the yard, and Jackie's like, his cellmate's pacing the cell, waiting, looking for the cop to deliver the mail, crying about his girl. And he's like, listen, kid, how long you been in? He's like, I'm doing 2 years. He's like, I got more time on the shitter. And that was the first time I
ever
heard
heard
that
that?
saying.
You ever heard it?
Yeah, I heard. So I'm laughing. He goes, Paul Sipley said his cellmate's crying, same thing about the girl and this and that, right? He goes, they're telling their stories. We were walking the yard, and he goes, well, my cellmate gave me the bottom bunk, gave me some canteen, made Bam Bam sandwiches for us last night. I'm in the cell fucking laughing, but one of those things, right? You don't judge a book by its cover. You
Never.
never,
Well,
you
you-
never know.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Like-
be able to tell. Like, he doesn't really look like, when you hear the stories and stuff, you look at him like, oh, this fucking little old man. But, like, no, he really was fucking, like, with the shit. He was crazy.
Yeah.
I have a funny Jackie story, dude. One time I saw Jackie at the bus stop. I was walking by with my boy. He's holding a fucking towel, like, on his stomach. I'm like, what's up, Jack? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's waiting for an ambulance. Some fucking black guy just fucking stabbed me. I'm like, what? He picks up his fucking shirt,
hog,
dude.
yeah.
Bro, he
Right.
picks up his fucking shirt like
that's
this.
him.
Just had a big fucking gash.
Oh,
like,
right,
he
right.
got
Really?
opened the fuck up. Like, someone actually... I'm like, why the fuck aren't you, like, call a fucking ambulance? He goes, no, that shit's fucking too expensive. I'm going to take the fucking bus. I'm like, you're fucking tapped. Motherfucker was holding his guts in with a towel. I'm like, this guy's really crazy, dude.
Yeah, good guy. Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
yeah, he was
Campbell.
awesome, dude. I love Jackie.
I heard many a story about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying, he's just one of those notable names. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like Butchie Doe.
Yeah.
I
I never
Anthony
met him.
Shea.
Yeah, I've heard of him. I'd never met those guys. They were
So
all
always-
older and in prison.
I was
Ronnie
with a
Doe's
bunch of
still
them
alive.
guys,
I was
you
in
know.
Ronnie years ago. Brother
Ronnie who?
Ronnie Doe. and
Ronnie
Butchie
Doe, right?
I think he's
Like,
he's
you hear,
still
like,
around.
like I was saying, like, the folk tales. Like Butchie Doe, you heard he's bulletproof. Like, he's been shot, like,
Yeah.
fucking more than anybody, but I never met the guy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all, good, all just, I was, I was in the feds. I was with a bunch of Charlestown guys,
Yeah.
Georgie Whalen, he's actually passed away. Pat Magoo passed away, you know what I'm saying? Laurie Ock, Ricky Ock,
Yeah.
with a whole bunch of,
Yeah, you
whole,
mentioned Ricky
Stevie
Ock, and I
Coleman.
remember him when I was a kid.
Yeah,
I know
Ricky
Bernie.
Ock.
He was
I know
jacked
Bernie.
up, a little
Yeah,
short.
I know
kid.
yeah,
Bernie.
no, he's like half Puerto Rican, half like Irish,
Yeah.
or something. But
I remember Richie Whalen. I think Georgie
Richie
his
Whalen
father.
was the son.
Yeah,
He
he's
passed
a
away.
kid.
He
He died
overdosed.
too. I like
Georgie did as well. Georgie was a hell of a hockey player. I was with him in Leavenworth. But Ricky, I was with him in McKean. And he used to fucking come down to the rec center, and I'd meet him. And I used to say, My God, Ricky, after half an hour with you, I got to go take a nap. He was 1,000 miles an hour. Sweetheart, great kid, full of energy, probably fucking knocked somebody's block
He was
off.
jacked when I met him.
Little
And he was a
fire
kid.
hydrant.
It might have been in Cambridge years ago.
Handsome kid,
He
full head of hair.
He was a specimen. Is he
Yeah,
still around?
Yeah, he's still around. He's working in the union. He's, straightened
Good
out,
for
got
him.
his life together, got some kids.
Shit.
He's in working a union
I
job.
was with him. Might have been Bill Ricker.
Yeah,
on
and I
Cambridge side.
he reached out. I
Might have
reached
been
out to him a
Cambridge
few
side and Bill
times.
Ricker just for a
Sweetheart.
short time.
Yeah.
I love Ricky.
Sean King was here, I think.
He was
at
a
the time.
million miles an hour. I always tell people I got 2 gears. 6th in sleep. Ricky just had sleep. 6th. That's it.
Were you with him, Sean King?
Sean King? No. No, I wasn't.
Somerville kid,
No.
Richie Ewart, what's his name? Stevie Ewart's co-defendant?
No.
No.
That name sounds familiar, but
Yeah.
no. I can't remember. Off the
Another
top
kid,
of my head.
mulatto kid, tough as nails, skinny
Yeah.
too, but just kid got hands, he's a fucking real tough kid.
Yeah.
One of those kids, you meet guys like this in jail a lot, like a Stevie Picard or Sean King, or they're skinny, or they just look, a little pot belly, a little off like Picard, and then they just hit people. And
You see them fight. I
Yeah,
know.
some people just.
You can't tell. Like
Yeah.
one of
Never-
my
listen,
best friends, dude, he's
we
like
don't
5'6", and he
Yeah.
could fucking. I'm telling you, he's a fucking problem. Like
Yeah.
he'll just start dropping. dudes when he
Especially
gets
because
going.
people look at them, shut the fuck, boom, boom, boom.
I know.
You know what I mean?
no.
It's when I've seen that so many times. It's like, fuck.
We
that,
know
I'm
that,
not-
especially from jail. The tough guys, the talk tough guys.
Yeah.
It's the people that don't really say much.
Yeah. And then shit pops up and you go, oh,
Why?
shit.
Right.
Do you see that?
Right.
Dude, I saw it in the yard in Concord with this older Spanish guy. He's a fat guy with glasses and, didn't really have like a haircut. All these guys getting their haircut all the time. And shit popped off and he pulled out a sword and goes, boom, boom,
That's
boom.
it. Went
And
to
we were
town.
like, holy shit.
Yeah.
The
Never
guy who
thought- I'd
fucking.
never thought that.
The guy who umps the softball games fucking was out there just fucking piecing people up. Like, yeah.
It's always like the wolf in sheep's clothing, Like you never
Sure.
know. Like you like this dude. You know someone. You're like that guy's fucking great. He may not look crazy to you, but don't fuck with that guy.
You know what? Shin called me out yesterday. She goes, I don't know how to say this. It's in Chinese, how we say it in American. And she's fucking using Google Translate. She holds it up and it says, wolf in sheep's clothing.
Wow.
I go, yeah, Shin, I have heard,
Boy,
I have
huh, Mike?
heard this before. Shin.
You got some eye opening phrases from people that are close to you. You told me another one today
Yeah, which one was that?
about why somebody wouldn't have a boyfriend.
Oh, my God. See?
Beanshooter is a human
what I had for
fortune
He
breakfast.
said, "Hey,
He's a human
I wouldn't have a
fortune cookie.
boyfriend because of the way you are." Mike.
all right, so I'm going to say the story.
You can
What do
say
think?
that's not for me to say; it's for you to say.
So I shouldn't even say it. They'll be chasing her down for Christ's sake. So my daughter's 16 now, right? And she's good. She's like, she leaves a little
Nice
high,
kid.
goes to a program to learn welding in the Vogue. Then she leaves the Vogue at 5 o'clock and she goes and waits tables and busts tables at some country club. So she's good, right? And she still like hasn't had a boyfriend. I'm like, so I talked to her. I got custody when she was 6. We got a good, obviously I always told her from day one, I'm different than most dads.
You guys have
Jordan,
a good rapport. Like
yeah.
she could trust
So
you and
buckle up and keep your hands in the vehicle at all times because it's it's going to be a little different with me. So she says, you know why I don't have a boyfriend yet? I go, no. She goes, because of you. Because I think all guys are scumbags who cheat on their girls and just have no respect for women, right? And I go, see, Jordan, that's why I do this.
Yeah, I
It's
taught
not
you
for me.
something.
I don't enjoy any of this. I do it for you.
You're like Mr. Miyagi. You're like
That's
fucking.
exactly
You're
right.
not even trying, but you're just dishing valuable fucking
I
life
do
lessons.
this for you.
That's
You
funny.
know what I mean? I'm playing chess. You're playing checkers.
That's
You know?
funny, right? My God.
So yeah, we had that conversation. So a couple times, and she was like, geez, a while ago, 8th grade, like young, she'd be like, look at this, piece of shit or whatever. Look at this, scumbag disrespecting women. Who does he think he is, Mike Lee?
Yeah.
I'm like a fucking 8th grader, Jordan.
Where you getting this from?
Just hit me with a fucking shot out of nowhere.
left hook.
He's like, no, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? The guy has no respect. I'm like, Jordan, that's not true. That's not true. But yeah, maybe that'll help her in life.
Yeah, I could.
Not
I feel like
trust.
if I had a daughter, I'd end up fucking just.
You got boys?
I have boys. I got all boys.
3?
I got 2, and then I'm having another boy too.
That's my mother. My
Holy
mother had
shit,
3
huh?
boys.
What's
I'm the
your names?
baby.
I got Logan, Luca, and then we're still deciding.
Luca. Everybody got a Luca.
Why
Joe
the
got a
L's?
Luca.
Why the L's?
I don't know. We just the first one, Logan. I named him after the Wolverine because I love the Wolverine. It was
like
always
that.
my favorite fucking comic character, so I named him after the Wolverine. And then the second one, that movie Luca with the mermaids came out, and my first son loved it, and he knew we were having the baby. He was like, I want to name him Luca. And
Yeah,
my
that's
girl
cool.
loved it, so that's how they did it.
I like
So
that.
what are you
Luca's a
gonna,
guinea name, dude. That's a
what are you
like
gonna
it,
name
I
the
like
next
it.
one?
I don't know yet. I have no clue.
Should name the kid Johnny Bot.
I actually, it's
After
crazy.
Uncle Johnny.
Because I said John. I like the name John, like St. John and everything. But she wants to go with an L name. I'm like, all the L names kind of suck. Like this Liam, Lincoln. I'm
What
like,
about
oh,
Lee?
Lee?
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. It's not a bad one.
Well, that's my last name.
There we go. Mike
Uncle
Lee.
Lee, Uncle Mike.
Uncle Lee. There we go.
I didn't even think of that. See that? That's what I do.
It's
I
just-
do, Jake. I do the thinking.
Yeah, you do the thinking. You're
No,
a
because
human
Mike, I
fortune
thought,
cookie.
what do you don't think. That's the whole thing. Just drive. You don't have to do. This fucking guy. Imagine how did I get stuck with this guy?
Dude, you guys are the fucking funniest duo. You guys fucking compliment each other perfectly. It's hilarious.
Our friend Ika. That's how we got together.
Yeah, we
my
got
guy
hooked up
Ika.
with Ika.
Shout out.
That's how you guys met?
Jason Callahan. Yeah, he's a great kid from Revere. He was. He just
He's in
popped
jail
up in
with
my
me.
memories yesterday. Yeah, they were in the feds together. So he called me up. He goes, "You got to get this guy on." And I've told the story 100 times. Oh yeah, I heard his name because I remember his co-defendant was friends with my friend Spiro. They were in the feds together, and so I'd always heard Johnny Bot, and then the free Johnny Bot, and I'm picturing this fat, pot belly, long greasy hair, tattoos all over them. So Ika's like, "Oh,
He's
you
expecting a pirate.
Yeah, because I got my podcast going, so I'm like, "Oh yeah, Hell's Angel, yeah, blah blah blah," and she's like, "Yeah, he's a good dude. I'm gonna put you guys on maybe when he gets off, papers or whatever." When he couldn't. At first, when he got out, he was on the bracelet and he couldn't do certain things. And I'm like, yeah. And then I'll send you his Instagram. So I look, and it was probably when he was at Rockland Recovery or the other guy's place. You were
No, it was
talking.
Rockland Recovery.
And I see him with the joggers on and the no socks
Nike
and
tech suit.
This is that fucking
yeah,
guy?
the Air Maxes and the hat
The
on.
hat.
I'm like, this guy looks like a bank robber from Charlestown or something that I've seen all my life in prison. The clean cut and Nike shit on. He did not fit the stereotype of Hell's Angel. Yeah, right. Hell's Angel, gang member. Murderer, prison guy.
Wolf in sheep's clothing, dude.
Well, it just totally, and once again, that's what you get, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, when I looked at that guy in prison, I said, "Oh, this guy's probably a fucking Skinner, right?" Or you conjure up this
I like it.
conjure up this image in your mind of what
I'm
someone's
always
going to look
monitoring Mike's vocabulary.
like. Yes,
Well, I wanted to ask you
well-spoken.
that too, and I so every person I know from these all the old Italian guys and stuff, how did you become a biker? I feel like that's not
Right.
a culture.
I know, yeah,
in
yeah,
East
good
Boston.
question.
That's
No, it's
like-
an interesting question too. I mean,
They wanted him too.
Ian,
They were
yeah,
recruiting
yeah,
him.
yeah.
And everything I've heard, you're a bad motherfucker, so I'm sure they would love that and shit. So
listen, the legend is always larger than life, right? I mean, when you meet somebody, it's a lot different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Ian, right? Shout out to Ian Bick, right? How's
Ian
the
Bick.
studio?
it's fucking awesome.
The
This is
best.
class.
He's the best.
Except for him,
Yeah, I know.
Sean Wick.
But so Ian asked me the same thing, So I guess that
Bick.
really, it's a great question. I'm from East Boston. My neighborhood was, I wasn't really around too many guys that were mobbed up. But I always tell the story that of course I knew some guys, but my neighborhood was comprised of kids that try to emulate that.
Yeah.
Right. So these are just independent
I was
kids.
one of those kids.
Right. Who I was looking at
up to.
like they're plastic gangsters.
Yeah.
Not the real gangsters. The real gangsters were being gangsters.
They just want to be
I just
like the
didn't know them, but I
gangsters.
seen all these other kids, and I was like, I don't want to be like that.
Looking
you know what
up
I'm
to those
saying?
guys,
I don't want to perpetuate that if I'm not that. I'm going to
Yeah.
either be that or not. But then, my Uncle Bobby ran the Palace. You know what I'm saying?
My
It was
father was a stripper there.
nice.
back in the
My
day. He was
my
Men
boy
in Motion.
Gio was a stripper there. It was better than this
They're
mother.
probably friends if you ask them.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
We
a
got a
small
fucking
community.
Huh?
It's a small community.
Yeah, hell yeah, of course. But, so I started to meet, they started to, guys in the club started to have their parties there, and I started to meet guys there, and, the rest is history. They asked me to work security, and then I just started to get around the club.
There you go.
I was the kid that always ran around my house making motorcycle noises, so, I was always destined to have a motorcycle.
But that's where you were introduced to the bike life, was at
Yeah.
the Palace.
Yeah,
awesome.
through those guys that were in the club, you know what I'm saying? Guys that were already, Hell's Angels and stuff, having their functions there. So that's kind of how I met them.
I wish you did do that.
Yeah, and then fast forward, I'm saying,
No, tell me about Gio being a stripper. Now I just have this.
Oh,
vision
really?
of
You
him
didn't
in
know
my
Gio was a
mind.
stripper?
No.
Dude, my
No,
dad-
but I'm picturing him in a thought. I'm just having these visuals.
more ass than a toilet seat.
Oh, yeah.
My father had
he's
fucking,
a
he has
stud.
the calendars and
I
all this
can't
shit,
bu-
newspapers. He has
it's-
a whole fucking box at his house.
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. No, but I mean the visual,
Yeah.
Gio.
Well, you had, you can see
Yeah.
Just look at him. He was
Yeah.
he's the fucking. That's like my curse. Like I always hang around with like the handsomest kid in the fucking
yeah, you telling
neighborhood.
me?
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
I'm
mean, like
always
that,
second
going out
best
with-
kid.
I go out with my friends. They're going to the Roxy. The music's like boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. You can't even talk. Like I gotta tell jokes, get girls laughing.
Yeah.
I'm like a court jester.
So you're like,
I
I
gotta
can't-
dance.
this
I
ain't
gotta
my
juggle.
element.
I gotta juggle.
Doing
Like
the whole
I got
thing.
zero chance.
I'll go to
again.
Columbia.
Yeah.
I'll go to Columbia.
Yeah, that's it. Just gonna set up shop there.
Just saying.
Dude, you're like the fucking mayor of Columbia, man.
Yeah.
I gotta give you a statue just right in the middle of
There's some
fucking-
talk of it.
Is there? They should, dude. Just give you a fucking big statue right in the airport.
I want to be at the commemoration. I want to be
Yeah,
at
that'd be
the.
fucking awesome.
I wanna
When they
be
pull the
there.
curtain down and everything.
Yeah.
Fucking sick.
I gotta go. That's the next thing, right? Maybe the hair surgery, Jake. How's your hair? You got a full head?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Trying
suck.
to. You
No,
know?
now I
My
don't-
father just went
now
to Turkey.
I don't like you as much as I did, Johnny.
You got a full
I got
head here?
Johnny.
Yeah, kind of pretty much. I mean, it's not like fucking.
No, the
it
question,
used to be way
this
better.
begs the question: why the fuck
Why
do you
the
wear a
hat?
hat?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just always. I feel like it's for
Alright.
Danny. I always got the hat on. I'm just
Danny.
like,
Yeah.
like to cover my face. I don't know why.
I can't wait to get to do a skit with Danny.
Oh,
That's
we're gonna
be,
do some fucking magic.
Yeah.
today.
That's
It's
gonna be
a good one.
huge.
Yeah, we're
That's
gonna
like,
do
like
one
look
in
at
Lowell,
two of the
right?
big,
Yeah,
two
we're
of the
gonna
two
do
of
the
the
fucking
biggest
Lowell
fucking
vlog.
Instagram fucking personas, right? But yours is real, but Danny's a persona, right? But
Yeah.
how did I get wrapped up in all this? I'm a lucky guy.
Yeah.
Gonna be a
Fortunate.
fucking-
We all are. We all are. And I don't know. It's different. It's different. Like talking to your friend out there, like you can just sense it with you, and I can sense it with Johnny. I like to think I'm the same way. Where what you see is what you get. Like I like to think like you reach out to help me. I'm the same way. I'll fucking help anyone. If,
Yeah,
you know, as long as you ain't a piece of shit or just. But some people, you know,
Pretentious,
people
yeah,
that
we get a lot.
aren't
Of
genuine.
some people are fake and phonies, and but
You
know,
had
get-
some experience with
Opportunists.
that?
Yeah, people just. I feel like the whole like fucking social media world and all these people that are like around, and not all of them, but a good amount. It's just a snake pit, dude. It's a fucking cutthroat, like dog eat dog world. So I feel like I was kind of introduced to that when I first started, and I was doing stuff with all these people, and I was like, I don't want to. I'd rather just be by myself, like a fucking.
I was
lone
so
wolf.
up in the air with that, like, oh, I don't want to do something with this guy. He's a clown, or I don't like him. And then Johnny gets out, and Johnny gets along with everyone. Then I'm like, oh, I'll go with this one. I'll go with that one. Then I'm like, part of me is like, oh, what? They want to do something with me now because now I just had a video that went crazy, and I got 100, 200, almost 300,000 followers, and then I'm like, oh, what am I being an idiot? I should do stuff with them because then
Depends.
Like,
I'm saying
their fans,
I
it's
don't
such a
say
like
just,
it's
I
such
don't
a
say just do it with anybody.
No,
I'm saying,
no, I didn't mean it like
I think
that.
yeah, well, no, but I think that of course you have to be judicious about who you deal with and stuff to some degree, right?
But I can be petty like
Be
you
cautious.
know. It's
No,
like,
you can.
It's not like I'm not doing something with like, oh, this guy's a fucking piece of
Yeah,
shit. So
we
that's
talk.
apparent, right? I
Yeah.
shouldn't do something with him. This guy.
But the guys that I did talk to you about and said, yeah, he's a decent guy, and then you ended up hanging out. And so I mean, I don't think anything's went south with any of those guys.
It's just hard for
No,
me. Like I
some
can't
people are
like I
strange.
can't.
Yeah,
be
yeah.
fake.
So yeah, we get
Yeah,
that.
I
just
can't
not
be
like-
fake
not
with
us.
people. Like I'll try to like hold back a little bit, but like if someone does something that fucking irritates me or something, and I feel like they're playing with me, I just say it. Like it's just how I am. I've been like that my whole life.
Yeah.
I can't really help that. So sometimes I feel like it makes me look like an asshole, but at the same time, like that shit's kept me alive. Like I'm very cautious of what's going on. So it's like if people take offense to that, then that's whatever. Like I felt
You can look
like,
in the mirror after. You can say, hey, I didn't like what this guy did. And I let him
Yeah.
know. I'm not gonna swallow it and not say nothing. Then afterwards, be like, whoa. I don't
Yeah,
like
because then that person thinks they got away with it, and then you're opening the door like this motherfucker can just do that again, or it's just opening the door for everyone else to do some shit like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just very like straightforward with people,
And like I said with you, it's funny. I consider you a friend, and we had never fucking met, which is
Never.
crazy.
Been
you know what I
talking
mean?
for like 2.5 years or something like that.
Doing the
dude.
voice messages like
Back
I do with
and
you like
forth.
constantly. You know what I mean? And
You're cracking up in the fucking voice message.
I know. Listen, this guy, they all know him from the
Oh
voice.
my God.
We'll be sitting somewhere and you go, Johnny, and then they go, Beanshooter?
We'll just hear
Beanshooter?
that.
Like their ears perk up like a fucking,
like a
like they're
German
fucking
shepherd.
Pavlov's dog or some shit like that.
Pavlov. There we go. I know it happened to me. I was in Outback yesterday. I was with Shin and my friend Kevin McCloney, and the waitress comes over, some young girl, and someone else like took the order, and the girl comes over and she's got the fucking ribeye steak with the onion on it. I go, see that, honey? That's a gentleman's steak. And she's like, looks, and she goes to her questions, and she goes, can I ask you a question? People always say that. Can I ask you a question? Are you
You just
Beanshooter?
did.
I go, yes. As a matter
Yes,
of fact,
I
I am.
am.
Then another, like a busboy comes out, and then like the guy who sat us down, he goes, I knew who you were when I came in, but I didn't want to say nothing. He's like, oh, thanks. I like your videos. And once again, you hear that shit, right? It's like,
Yeah.
these motherfuckers going to wipe out my page again. Like, what the fuck did I do that
It all
was
goes
so
back.
bad?
Listen, Mike.
What the fuck did I do?
And think about
Got
it.
some
though.
like shadow army out there.
Yeah,
that's
think
got it
about
against
it. I'm
you.
saying
Well,
that's fucking-
fuck Beanshooter
Who do you
fan
listen?
club.
People reach out to me. I'll send you money to get the shadow ban off. I'll
Yeah.
have 20 people message me. I can do it for fucking. Like when I didn't have my page, 30 days I couldn't get in. I couldn't get into account settings to see my restrictions. I was just out. And everybody I talked to, like someone I
And
know.
nobody had listen.
It's
nobody,
like you're at your house, but you don't have the
nobody
fucking
had
keys to
seen
get
it. That's the
inside.
Yeah.
crazy thing. We talked.
Eric Spofford knows
we
people
talked to
and-
Eric Spofford, right? Eric Spofford can
Knows a lot of
FaceTime
people.
fucking. He can FaceTime anybody, and they'll answer on the first ring. Me included.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody. He has guys like this guy Tarzan that's on Instagram that got like 7 zillion followers. The kid C Money said, you know Tarzan, he FaceTime and said, follow my friend. He followed him.
Hey,
And-
started Green Mountain Recovery in New Hampshire.
Right.
Started out buying a sober house. I mean, entrepreneur.
Yeah,
the
sweetheart
kid.
of a guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. Hang out with him. I love him. I talk to him all the time. He's just a fucking dynamite guy. But anyway, he knows a lot of people. That's the moral of the story. He called Mike and he fucking called his hacker. You know what the hacker said? Wait a minute. People
page
can
is-
see your page,
He looked,
but
he
you
goes,
can't
"Your-
access
your
it.
page is
I've
still
never
up."
seen it.
That's
Yeah.
weird. I've never. When he was saying that too, I was like, you can't get in. Not, but the page is still there. Usually the page would be down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to get in.
Yeah, it was the
Yep.
craziest
That's
thing.
why I thought it was a hacker. I said, Mike, it's a hack.
It's like being at your house and your fucking key's not working. You're like, wait, wasn't I just here earlier? Why the fuck
And then
isn't
my
the door
guy,
open?
then my guy Joe, the Boston Be a Man, Boston Be a
Great
Man
guy.
page.
Shout out, be a man.
Yeah, shout
great
out, be a
man.
man,
My
follow,
guy.
be a man.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
I mean,
My
just great
girlfriend's
people.
dead.
Yeah, yeah, my girlfriend's dead.
That's his
I'm-
lead line at the
we're
bar.
up.
My girlfriend just died.
He meets some
Everybody-
girl. He goes, "Hey, my girlfriend's dead." He's like, "Okay." So we were saying that all night. But he got in somehow. Like people, my friend Boston Manufacturing, which is another great page. They were like, create a Facebook page, link to the Instagram. Maybe you'll have to pay for some business ads. And I'm not good with all this shit. I'm good at holding my phone up and catching Johnny
all I am.
bewildered when his car just got towed away. But like as far as like the technical end, and he's like, you got to go in on the back end. I'm like, the back end? I have no idea. And he did it. He went through Facebook, and I'm on the phone with him. And I was in Bogota. I was just getting in the airport. And he had me on the phone. I'm in a taxi. And then he's like, what's your password? And my phone literally is at 2%. And every taxi I ever got in Colombia, everyone's got Samsung Galaxies.
Yeah.
The one dude I get in, my phone's dying at 2%. I don't get a charger. He's got an old iPhone charger.
Oh,
I'm like, fucking
word.
shoot me in the face.
Thank you.
Then he's got some, no, it's an old iPhone, not the
it's
new
an
one.
old
So it
oh,
didn't
so you have
fit.
the fucking squidge? Oh,
So then he
shit.
finds some little thing, and it's literally this long. So I'm in the taxi, like with the phone like this, trying to talk to this guy. You're hitting bumps. You're in this little like fucking Fiat. And he's got me on the phone for like 40 minutes, and my phone's dying. He's like, they're going to send you a code. Give me all your passwords. And you don't want to give no one all your passwords.
No, it's-
But obviously, this is a friend of mine, so it's not like some hacker like, yeah, people saying, oh, give me one lawyer. Give me $5,000, $3,000 up front. If we get your page back, you pay me the other $2,000. I'm like, dude, I'll fucking light my money on fire.
It's like a locksmith being like, I need to see your key. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
before so, and then you
same shit. Like, all right, take the
then-
fucking key. Get me in my fucking house.
Then you
Fuck
need my
off.
password. So I got him, and then it's like 45 minutes on the phone, and I'm in the airport, and I'm walking in. He goes, I'm in your page. I go, shut the fuck up. He goes, I'm in your account settings right now. I'm looking at your restrictions. I go, no, you're not. He sends me screenshots. He goes, go on. So I go on. I'm still locked out. He's like, refresh your page. I refresh it. Boom, there it was.
You were fucking jazzed.
Yeah, I posted a reel right away. I'm like, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. And I posted a reel. But then
you walking up the thing, I saw you were like it looked like a pyramid or like some stairs or something.
Oh yeah, that was that day. Yeah. So
But still, he's shadow banned forever.
Yeah.
When we collaborate, we got to collaborate on his other page.
Which that account shadow banned for good.
no, I think it said mid-March. I can't go live until January 1st, 26.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go live
We don't
anyway,
go
but
live.
I
a
never
year.
go live. Yeah, that's
never go
fucking
live.
stupid.
But a year though.
That's harsh.
harsh.
It's like,
what the
that's
fuck?
fucking. That's insane.
Don't even tell you for what. It's like it's almost like you start to think crazy like conspiracy theorists, right? But it's like
It's somebody.
Someone
Yeah.
has it out for you.
somebody in Meta is not a big fan of the
Right,
old
that too.
Beanshooter page.
It's even like I told you, like other influencers will do it. Dude, someone with a big following, once they like, if someone has a big following, how you can Google this and stuff, Instagram just automatically takes note of that because they're like, oh, this dude is reporting this guy, they take it more seriously, and the moderators like fucking look at it.
Really?
Yeah, so that's people fuck other people over. That's why I have other
couldn't do
influencers
it.
that
I
I have
couldn't.
blocked. I'm just
Yeah, but that's
Just
why.
block 'em.
So once in a while, I was always blocking a lot of people. When someone will put like a nasty comment, I'll be like, all right, well, this is the enemy.
Yeah.
I might as well block this. You know what I mean?
if someone copy me, I block them. I'm not even dealing.
Oh,
And you would think it'd be the
yeah,
opposite.
I saw that. Someone did the Danny thing, right?
A couple people like do like
Was it like a black dude or a Spanish dude?
There's
Was
a
it some-
couple of them. There's one dude in New York who does it. He follows me, and then there's another dude in I forget where the fuck he is, but he's this fat kid. He dresses like a fucking goth dude. He's like the weirdest looking kid I've ever seen, but I don't think he was like, he never had a problem. So it's more like, to me, I'm like, you're just making fun of it. Like, you're not doing anything for the community. You're kind of just like making fun of people, you know?
Yeah.
But that's how none of the other ones that do it were actually like on drugs. It's more
Yeah,
like
that's why I said that. Like, if I'm filming someone, oh, you're making fun of a guy, addicted to drugs. You forgot where you came from, but you, like, you gotta be upfront with that. Where
Yeah,
you're
it's like, I didn't forget. Like, I remember where I was, you know?
So
And
what, do-
that's
what do you
why
what do
it's
you do
great.
when that happens?
Just fucking deal with it. I feel like that's like anything. You just gotta fucking.
So that's why it's even better that you're doing a thing with Rockland cover and everything. So it's like,
Yeah.
hey, fuck you.
That's great.
And you also have a leg to stand on. Hey, I'm an ex-addict, so I can. It's almost like I can tell black.
Well,
folks
it's
I'm
not
black.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I'm
exactly
saying not
what it
only
is.
that, but I'm saying why would you bite somebody's shit like that? That's to me, that's
people
so.
do it all the time.
I flip out. It's like I told you. Like I'm real. Like
So rude enough
I'm
to
gonna
me.
fucking get mad because like I don't deal with shit like all these kids. I'm like I want to come to your house and fight you. So I gotta just like and then I'll start messaging
Well,
people. I
I'm
don't
saying
want to
that's
deal
your
with it.
first reaction is
Yeah.
to do that.
It's an honest reaction because I'm just
Listen, that'd be like me or anybody starting to say, "Hey, watch out for that fresh air."
Yeah.
That's somebody else's stuff. Or, hey,
says
you can't
why?
park
Everybody
there.
does
Who
the you
says-
can't park
Who
there
says
line.
that?
What?
With the fresh air thing.
I don't know, some guy. I don't know. Some asshole, but I wouldn't mimic him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
dude,
listen,
You started the whole you can't park there.
Yeah.
I
You should have seen the
made
one today.
I made a video where I said it, but I always try to pay homage. Like I'll tag
yeah,
you
of
and
course.
stuff. I
That's
never
different.
Paying homage.
That's
Yeah.
different. That's different. Like, and then people will do it and then send it to him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't
yeah.
gonna post it, but they
Yeah,
send it to
yeah.
him. If you want to post this is good, but
Yeah,
post.
yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I've sent you some that I'll like yell it at somebody and send it right over to you.
Yeah.
I just got this guy. Got a couple of them on.
And
there.
that's another thing that sucks about my page too. Now it's like where, I love, like you said, being myself, right? Just filming shit and posting it. When you gotta think afterwards, oh fuck, should I post this? Oh, is this gonna get
That's
taken down?
you.
Yeah, you
Oh,
gotta-
it's just gonna,
it's like
they're
you're-
gonna report
you're
this?
walking-
Oh, is this gonna be
you're walking on
should I
thin
post
ice and
this?
stepping
I'm
on
sending it to
fucking
3
eggshells.
people. What do you think? Should I post this? And yesterday I put I spray painted free Beanshooter all over the side of my dump truck in the back, like, and just because I'm an idiot. And I'm like, hey Zuckerberg, please. And then I'm like, oh fuck, I said Zuckerberg. I gotta take that. Like something that harmless, I literally gotta think about.
But
Be
see,
like,
that's
oh,
what
fuck.
they want. They want people fucking
Shook.
suppressed. They want you to be shook, and they want you to fucking think about your actions before you. It's just fucking stupid.
But
I
I've
think
never
it should-
thought about my actions.
I haven't either. That's why I hated therapy. I went to therapy for a while when I was a kid, and I'm like, I don't fucking like this because when I need my survival instinct, it's not fucking this. Then I'm like, what the fuck?
Way to look at it.
How about last night? I'm out plowing. My daughter calls me now. I got nothing from my childhood. I've moved around here, there, DYS, my mother, foster home. My father was a bartender at a 1 fucking bedroom apartment. I'd sleep on the couch. He'd come arrest me. So it's not like I, have a family home where there's all these pictures and everything. And my daughter, I don't know how my father had it, finds a letter from me where I was in like DYS. It says 1983. And there's like a teacher correcting something. They had me write some paper like I'm writing. It's like, when I go home, my goal is to get along, be nice to my mother, and try to not have any more problems with the police, and try not to hang around with my old friends. Like, it was this letter I wrote, and it said, for most of my teenage years, I've been in trouble with the police. I'm like, it was 83. I was 13 or 14. I was
of my
born in
teenage
69. I'm
years.
like, what was I talking about? Most of my
like a
teenage...
full-grown man at that point.
Most of
dude.
my teenage years, I was in trouble with the police. I'm reading them like...
You
I
had
was-
6 months of teenage years.
And yeah, and you know what's crazy? I mean, I might have been 14. It might have because I'm May, so I might have turned in 83. I might have turned 14 in May. So it might have been before that, or it might have been, but at the most, I'm 14, right?
Yeah.
13 or 14. And I'm reading it. It's like when I was younger, when I got older, I was in jail and I was in the courthouse, and I saw them bring the juveniles out. And to put the shackles on, I saw the transpo guy put his hand under the kid's armpits, and he sat him up on the table to put the leg chains on.
fuck?
And I remembered him doing that to me. And I'm looking on, I'm like, well, here I am now. I'm like 28 or whatever, right? And I'm looking, I'm like, wow, I remember being that small. And the kid looked like he was 10.
Yeah.
You know, 13, I was fighting in the silver mittens. You think you think you're big, but when if I could look back now, like when I wrote that letter, I probably looked like, the years. Not like I was like a Mike Tyson when I was 13, right? I probably looked like I was fucking 9.
Right.
Right. And I'm like,
You
wow.
looked young when you were
Yeah,
young.
That's how I feel. You'll see some of these like 13, 14-year-old kids. You're like, you're a fucking baby, and then you start thinking, you're like, that was fucking smoking dust at 14.
Yeah, right.
Fucking crack pipe.
Oh,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah.
Charlestown kid.
hanging
I
out
used to
in
smoke
traps,
dust too.
like-
I loved it.
I used to love the
Back
dust.
I
then
used
with me,
to
it was
love
some
it.
dust, and it was
Love it.
mescaline and acid, and we
We were like 14 on Connie Court. Like my friends are fucking cooking crack. We were just sitting there trapping all day. Like it's just people are fucking coming in doing dope. It was just normal. Like I feel like now,
It's what a good life.
yeah,
It's a good life. But listen, we should probably think about wrapping this up. We've been here for an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, has it
shit.
been that long?
got a ton of
All right,
footage.
it's very cold out today. Might as well put on
The Beanshooter hat. We got all
Beanshooter.
kinds of 27 straight on.
The
so we gotta
Beanshooter hat. Yeah,
get some
that's what we
Beanshooter
gotta do.
advertisement.
Hey, Jake, man, my guy.